Hi everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. This is Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. What you think I'm gonna do? Anyways, so we're gonna get started on our little block. I feel like a little slightly naked, it's just brand new. So I couldn't find what I wanted to do via the couple of the free ones. So I went back to my 100 pattern or 100 blocks booklet that I did with my niece Victoria's quilt. This one right here, okay? And I found Starlight, and I really like that one. It's a very simple block, and I think we're going to end up doing a couple of stars for this quilt because of Christmas. I like a Santa and I like a snowman, but this is block 5 of 12, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So relatively pretty simple. There's the triangle squares technique, and there's the stitch and flip technique, which you can easily research that, and there's also the directions on the back of the book if you get confused. So I chose, instead of course the yellow, pink, and white, I chose white, red, and this very fancy leafy green that I've had for quite some time. So I thought I'd use that as my backdrop where the white is. Okay, so hold it straight here. So that's going to be where my white is, and then the red and the white are going to be where the little star bits are. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do here is make our 4 units of the 2 7/8 by 2 7/8 squares. You got 2 reds and 2 whites, and that's going to make your center bit, like your little miniature pinwheel right in the center. So that's what's going to make that one right there, okay? So we're just going to sew down on either side of the white line, and then we're going to cut right in the center. All right, so let's get this going here. Thank you for joining me for Weekend Project Block 5 of Christmas Project. Hope you're either partaking or at least enjoying. So, like I said, if you have any suggestions for a block, I am all ears. Preferably free or relatively easy. So there's one, and we've just sewn on both sides. Probably easier to see on the white side there of that line, and then we're going to cut there, and that's going to give us our half square triangle that we're going to need, and we need a few of them. So we're going to do the same on this block right here. And I don't know how long this is going to take, but I'm hoping it shouldn't take too long. It's not an easy one, but it's it's not complicated either. Okay, just a few little bits and pieces. Okay, so those we'll save. We're going to cut those after. Now for the edge pieces, which is these ones right here, it says to make a few units right there. You need to flip and stitch. So I wanted to make sure that where it was pink, I wanted red. So I'm making sure that all my red squares are on the, I guess, right side or left side, depending how you're looking at it, of your piece. Don't be doing 2 this way and 1 over on this side. It's not going to look right. So make sure they're all on the same side that you're working on, and it'll be all look pretty in the end. That's what makes the star. Okay, so what we're going to do is actually going to stitch on that line, and then we're going to cut 1/4 of an inch past it as the, what do they call the little tails or ears or whatever. Okay, that's why there's 2 different techniques to this. There's the stitch and flip, which is this right here, what we're doing right now. And then you're going to cut this part off. You can either buy scissors or buy your rotary cutter. I mean, it's, eyeball your quarter. And then you do the same for the white side. So yeah, these ones are. And I did mark the white with a little bit of pink. So, and it will fade over time. So make sure you're going in the same direction, right? Because you're kind of making, what is it, a flying goose. We're kind of doing a flying goose right now. Or pretty much is a flying goose. Okay, you can just go from one end to the other. And I think that's got to be flipped first. Doesn't it? Or does that get locked underneath? I guess we're going to find out. No, I think it's stitch and flip. I don't know, makes sense, silly. You see little critter. It's time for Clive's cameo. It's been Sophie for the past few times. Sophie Lophie. Alright, then we just trim that up. Okay. And then that is your stitch and flip. Okay. There we go. And we want that nice little point, especially in that green part. Okay. So that's 1. Now we're going to make 3 more. Just going to say I'm losing one, but I already did one. Duh. Sometimes I'm just cute and not so smart. Alright, so we're just going to keep going. Do all the reds. Kind of, it's best to do it like in a little assembly line, especially if you really like this block and you want to do a whole quilt in it or 12 blocks in it. Do all the same stages at the same time. And then you can have the whole joy of sticking all those blocks together. That would make actually a pretty cool Starlight. Okay, so now we're going to take these three, give them a little trim. Like I say, you can do your rotary cutter. Like I'll do these two, might as well when we're over here cutting. So there's my 2 half square triangles. Okay, that's going to build up our center. And then we got nice big green squares for the outside. Okay, so those two are going to be over there. Let's trim this up. This goes by 1/4. Okay, just go put that line right on your stitch line and trim it up. And you keep those tails for, you know, that micro quilt project that's going to be happening. All right. Okay, so those, and those get their little white bits added on. So let's do those. To all. Okay, yeah. See, look what I did. I laid it up, so I was going to do like a wonky move like I did that other time with that block. Pay attention. Make sure you got your angles going down into a point. I don't remember what I was making, but it was wrong. Whatever it is that what I was making. Line this one up just the same. Make sure you got your direction. Hopefully we don't have one of those captions that says, you know, remember what I said. I just get nervous. I just want to. Are you watching? Alright. A couple little more bits here. And this block is coming together. Alright. Okay, so now we have all 4 of those ready to rock. Let's see. Oh, minus their little white bits. Let's make sure we're not cutting off what we possibly need. Okay, so there we go. There's our other one. Don't forget to give these a press. I do it when I am building the blocks, but it's kind of hard to get my ironing board and my iron behind it. They both are quite large, so there we go. Do all these little bits over there. Okay. And trim. There we go. Oops. Still want to be hanging out. Okay, so now those are pretty much the more complicated bits there. Now we need to build unit, hold on, C, okay, which is just these little squares, which are 2.5 by 2.5. So we're just gonna block them together. And we've got 4 of those to do. And then it is put this block together. So just do this as a little chain piece. This is what chain piecing is. You just keep lining them up and feeding one right after the other. And you have less of a chance of getting these little corners of some of this very, not flimsy fabric, but really of the lighter fabric, especially when we're working with like rayon and stuff, to get caught right underneath the needle and just pretty much beat the crud right out of it. So if you chain piece, it just kind of keeps those feed dogs going, because feed dogs need something to chew on, right? That's the thing. They need something to chew on. And of course, it's been a very busy week here in the quilt shop. I've had all my little sewing students here. It's been very exciting. They're working on Halloween costumes. They're so adorable. tell you, just love kids. Okay, so now we're going to start building our unit out. So where it has the yellow, I want the white. So we're going to block it out like this. Yes, okay, there we go. Always refer to your diagram. Just to double check. I'd rather double check than seam rip. And we're going to do the same to this one, but we're going to make sure we're putting the bottom unit together properly. Okay, so that. Oops. Oh, so wait a second. That's a square. Where'd that come from? And there, yes. So we'll attach those two, and then we'll attach these two together, and we will have our center little pinwheel of our Starlight star. Starlight, yeah, Starlight. Okay, so now those two are done. Okay, now we're going to line them up like this. Put your pointy ends together. Give them a little stitch down. Okay, now we have our center pinwheel. Okay, there we go. Now we're going to build it out on either side. Okay, so now we need to add the block on top of each other, which is the red is touching the red and the white is touching the white. Make sure you have that in the right order. We'll work on both sides, and then we'll work on the top, and it will be shortly done. Try and press if you can. You're to the dark side, especially when you're working with like reds and whites and blacks and stuff. All right, so there we go. That's one side. And then we'll do this side. It's gonna look so pretty with these colors. I was going through my collection. I'm like, oh, what to choose. And it's not like you need a lot. You just need a few little scrappy bits, like 2 7/8 squares and 2 1/2 squares and 4 1/2 squares. A few of these, a few of those. Okay, see, look, that's coming together. Now we're going to work on the end bits here, which are these. Okay, and we want to make sure we're putting them in the correct manner, which would be this way, because it's red touching red and white touching white. Okay, because that's what gives that bit of a star effect. Don't mind the cat. He's a bit of a turd. I was trying to be polite. Didn't want to swear. All right. Okay. Now, there we go. Now we just got to build up the top. Okay. So that is one of these units and one of these units, matching up your red and white and white. Okay. And then we get to use the big square units on the end. And that is it. Not very long when you think about it. Just cut everything ahead of time. Have it ready. And always double measure. Like I said, it's always easier to double measure than to have to like recut everything. Because you thought it read 3 7/8 and not like 4 1/4. More work. It's always more work. Okay, so now we have that piece, which is the very top, which that's just going to sit up in here. And then we got to put 2 of these gold ones on either side. Goldy green. I really like it. It's actually, I have about 1 meter left of it, so I'm going to have to think of some sort of quilt to do with it all, that's for sure. And it's not necessarily just Christmas stuff. It's just goldy green leaf. You can go in a very nature themed quilt. That would be all right. Okay, so we got one on one side, one on the other. Stitch it to the top of the block, or stitch the top to the middle of the block. It kind of goes in 3 stages. All right, see, there we go. Can you see that? It's coming along. Yeah, okay. Put this, and this is where you may want to put in a few pins because those lineups are essential. Some stuff you can kind of flip it on, but this sort of stuff you really don't want to. You want to make sure you're doing it right. Okay, so just take an extra few moments. I know it adds minutes to the day, but it's better. Okay. So now we got that top one done. Also down. Hopefully everything stays nicely lined up. So it looks like a nice pretty star when it's all finished. As some of you may know, I've joined a couple of guild clubs in my area, and I've gone for two sessions so far. Oh, look at that. It's lovely now. And I have literally learned so much. Like, I'm so happy I went. I'm kind of miffed at myself. I didn't go before, but I just happened to have that schedule, and I always happened to work the Monday nights and Saturdays and Sundays and that sort of thing. So it always just seemed to be conflicted, but I'm learning so much just about anything and everything. Just quilts in general, and how to treat them, and it's all about loving what people make you, because they don't have to. No, they don't. And if they make it, it means with love. Alright, last one here, and then a quick line, and then this block is done. Alright, little crafty buddies. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to put a couple pins in, because I want mine to match up as best I can. Okay. And then make sure you're matching up your colors so that really accentuates your star. Okay. Sometimes you have to wiggle the seam or the seam allowance to one side or the other just for ease as you're sewing over, right? All right, one more line. Oh, you're good to go. Oops, the wrong button. Sorry. That's the one I'm going to sit here and think for a second as it goes up and down. I think it's just a lock stitch. Alright. Get that seam a little better there. Okay. This just needs a good press. Awesome add to our collection for our Christmas tree quilt. Now my pins out. There we go. What you think of that? I think it looks pretty cool. I really love that red and green together. And then the plain white. I think I had a pattern white, but I didn't really want to use it. So I love that one. It's actually one of my favorites. And obviously not very long to put together. So thank you very much. It was block 1295, Starlight, of this 100 pattern book. 100 Blocks, Quilt Makers, Collector's Edition, Volume 13, if you're interested. Thank you for watching. Suggestions for blocks? We're listening. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all soon. And, check out Longer Wednesday if you don't know what it is. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye. See you soon.